Cris Pannullo returned for his 19th game on Jeopardy. He won an 18-day total of $637,923. Obligatory thumbs up. Ken Jennings' introduction was, yesterday, our champion Cris Pannullo secured his 18th win and his 15th runaway win, despite missing on a final Jeopardy about the flag of Brazil. How did he do it? Once again, a big and successful wagering on the daily doubles. Will he find them again today, or will Robin and Jerry seek them out first? One of the categories was remembering Olivia Newton-John. Do I even need to say it? I had a video planned for Olivia Newton-John following her death. And you know what? I'm currently typing this soon after Kirstie Alley died. I don't know if Jeopardy will beat me to that as well. I might as well look at the categories to get some ideas for my video. Stevenson probably intended for the last name of this character to rhyme with treacle, as in the Frederick March version of the film. The answer was obviously Jekyll, after Chris answered, or Jekyll as it turns out. I've been wanting to mention this if I did the spooky literature for Halloween. Robert Louis Stevenson intended for the name to be pronounced Jekyll. Only the first sound film adaptation pronounced it correctly, the Frederick March version. Every film after that said Jekyll, which unfortunately led to the mispronunciation butchering we created now. This is also why I say the pronunciation is GIF, because that's what the creator suggested before you say the G stands for graphic, the U in scuba stands for underwater, and the P in JPEG stands for photographic. Anyway, I'm surprised this wasn't the daily double in the round. The next question was, all three contestants got a daily double. Chris got the first daily double, made it a true daily double, got it right, and went to $4,400. I think this is 41 out of 47 at this point, and 37 that he got correct. Considered a little too sexy for some, this song worked out to be the top hit of the 1980s. What is physical? It was the top hit of 1981. That's how I first heard of Olivia Newton-John, is because I looked up the top songs of the past century. I would have heard of her sooner. Unfortunately, I never watched Grease as a kid. In a patriotic George M. Cohan tune, every heart beats true under this trio. The answer was obviously, what's the red, white, and blue? It's December, why not wait until July? And speaking of the top songs of the past century, since there was no Billboard, there were guesses of the top songs of 1906. Billy Murray's cover of Grand Old Flag would often be in those lists. Olivia called it an amazing experience working on and dancing with this legend on Xanadu, which would be his last film. Nobody buzzed to answer Gene Kelly. Do I even need to mention the last time Xanadu came up on Jeopardy? So this is a tribute to both stars. At 29, Olivia was worried she was too old to play a high school in this musical, but her role as Sandy became iconic. What is Grease? Now, I don't know how common it was to portray high school students when you're old enough to be a teacher. Common nowadays. I just don't know how it was back then. Besides, 29-year-olds today, and definitely going to next year too, I still see as high school students. Kinda sad how my time is just passing me by. Though born in Cambridge, England, Olivia spent her formative years living in this country. What is Australia? I actually didn't even know she was British. I knew she was Australian, and if you heard the aforementioned physical, which who hasn't by now, you can hear is closer to an American accent. Sadly, in 2022, Olivia lost her battle with this disease after advocating for research and early detection since her 1992 diagnosis. Chris buzzed and answered, what is cancer? Then Ken asked, more specifically, before answering breast cancer. Chris entered the first round winning $11,800. Rob was in second place at $3,800, and Jerry was in third place at $1,400. Excellent pronunciation. I felt bad for Jerry. Jerry buzzed in and answered Final Fantasy. Then Ken told her it was incorrect. Rob buzzed and answered Mr. Rourke. They needed the role. Rob got the first daily double, waited $4,400, got it right, and went to $13,000. The title subject of 2 Shakespeare plays. He was England's first king of the House of Lancaster, who is Henry IV. This was cited as his first play ever written, and that's naturally the first one I read when I got into my Shakespeare obsession. It was believed to have been written between 1590 and 1591. Jerry got out of the hole, and the next question was the daily double. Jerry got the second daily double in Double Jeopardy. It was the easiest daily double. This contraction opens the poem, A Visit from St. Nicholas. That took her to $3,500. Finally, they asked a Christmas question in December. Now, what I didn't notice until now is Jerry could have waited up to $2,000. I guess she decided to play it safe to not possibly end up in the hole again. Jerry ended Double Jeopardy winning $3,900. Rob was in second place at $14,200, and Chris was in the lead at $27,600. Ken mentioned Cris is 15 out of 18 runaways, and as it turns out, the number of runaways remains is 15. The one time he mentioned in the anecdote, the Final Jeopardy category was language and its meaning. The question was, now meeting someone with nocturnal habits, it catches a sleeping dove in Shakespeare's The Rape of Lucrece. Another Shakespeare question. I've never seen that before unless it was in the same category, like if it was a Shakespeare category or something. The answer was, what is a night owl? Rob and Cris answered correctly. Rob wagered $12,600 and went to $26,800. I don't see why he didn't just double it. Cris wagered $1,221. If he wagered $20 fewer, he could have corresponded to the air date, which I previously mentioned was harder to estimate. Since Cris wagers $221 because of his girlfriend's birthday falls on the 21st of February, this is technically the 21st of December. He's now at a 19-day total of $666,744 and is tied with David Madden and Jason Zuffranieri at 19 wins. Also, now that I said that for the fourth time, why do I never hear about David Madden anymore? He was the second Ultra champion after all. Can Cris beat their record and tie Julia Collins tomorrow?
And as always, thank you for watching.